We're connected now.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
This is
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
9,
Hello, hello, hello.
It's all you got to do.
Hello.
84.
Is the bar going? Hello, hello. Is the audio bar going?
26.
It's on the first one that you open. Yeah, it's going.
This one is 42, 485,
It stopped.
Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. You got 5.
Good.
40.
You got everything.
I'm gonna start having to wear a shirt like Elon that says tech support.
Okay.
You guys, Hubert, Jeff, you want water? No, I'm good. You guys all got water? Everybody good?
This cheerleader goes back way far. Or nothing.
You snuck in, Mr. Weed. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Cavs game late tonight.
From the West Coast.
Yeah, 10:30. Tough game, too. They're playing really well, Clippers right now. All right. Just one more minute. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but Diane was telling me the astronauts are finally home.
Yeah.
Wow, what a relief for them.
Their families,
Oh, my
I'm
gosh.
sure they're ecstatic.
It was amazing watching that come down with the camera shots. It was unreal. Watching those,
All the different
Parachutes
views. Yeah,
open.
yeah, the parachutes are so pretty.
but that's the way
Yeah.
they opened on.
There was a school, the Dolphins were
Yes.
there when we, yeah,
They were taking care of things.
You
Oh,
would
is that
think
what they
they'd-
said? Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think
Wow.
they'd be afraid.
welcoming committee.
That was Flipper.
Yeah, yeah, they look
Oh,
so cute.
Flipper. That was a great
To
show.
greet them.
I heard about that, that was like when you were,
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah. That was way before your time,
Yeah.
right?
way before.
Way before that.
My sister watched it.
Yeah,
I think I
Oh,
can still
God.
sing
you
the
gotta keep your
song.
feet up in here, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody ready? Everybody good? Fred, Diane, Jennifer,
Yes.
Ray, Brian,
Yes, sir.
John, Nikki? Okay, here we go. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular council meeting of the Village of Walton Hills, Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, at 7:01 PM. Next order of business is Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to take a moment of silence for our former police chiefs, for our former police chief Stan, his wife Kim, and for their family, for the loss of their son, Jason Michael Jaworski. Thank you. And I'm very happy to say we didn't have any residents. Okay. Roll call, Nikki?
Councilman Nielsen?
Here.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Here.
Councilwoman Allen?
Here.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Here.
Councilman Whedon?
Here.
Okay, all council present, along with our law director, John Montello, and our fiscal officer, Nicole Sell. We have item 5. Anybody like to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve, with everyone's acceptance, the February 18th, 2025 regular council meeting minutes and the COW meeting minutes for March 4th and March 11th, 2025.
Second by Councilwoman Allen. Vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
All minutes approved as stated. Thank you, everybody. We have item 6, any persons having business before council. I'd like to welcome also the any residents or non-residents that are watching the live stream tonight. Okay. Any questions from the audience or anybody there?
No.
You can also place questions as we move through the meeting if you need to. So we'll move on to the mayor's report. Everybody's good with that? Okay. Okay. We'll start with the monthly mayor's court report. This would be for the month of February. The total revenue was $25,384.18. Year-to-date was $37,954.68. Last year-to-date was $43,957 even. I have the police report. Okay, the Walton Hills Police Department issued 82 citations in the month of February. The predominant violation was speed, with 25 citations issued, followed by 19 citations issued for expired plates, 5 citations issued for vehicle accident assured clear distance, and we had 3 arrests for driving while under the influence of alcohol/drugs. Okay. Any comments from council at this time? Why don't we do this, because I know there were still some questions out there for the items that are on there. We can go through the items, talk about them, see if things are answered, and then after we're done with going through the legislation, then we can, vote on it or put it on for first read, whatever we all decide as we talk. So the first item, under item 9, legislation, is Resolution 2025-7, our casualty insurance. Of course, these items we talked about in both COW meetings. We had our, we didn't have, we just had letters, and Nikki from the Love Insurance Company, our broker, me and her just kind of, along with John, interpreted with council the renewal, mostly Nikki did, and I know there was a couple questions, and Nikki, you did get those answered, correct? Send them to everybody.
Yes.
Those were
I think there was one,
about the cars.
the cars, I sent that forward. There was a car that hadn't been on prior, so they had to add it on. And there was one other item.
The community center.
Truck community.
Yes,
Vincent.
and she gave you the information for that.
Okay.
I don't have the the email with me, so, but I did forward it to everyone.
Did that help? I know it was just some minor questions. We vetted it pretty well, but they're all important, so you have that. Good. Any other questions to do with our casualty insurance, Resolution 2025-7? Is everybody comfortable with that? I'd like to ask for suspension on that.
Mayor, I can do that if that's acceptable to everybody.
Okay. Okay. And then we have item B, Resolution 2025-8, our health insurance. As you know, Oswald is our broker for that. They also do our dental. They at least look at other companies. And Carol and Mike were both here the last COW meeting. Went through our renewal. It came in, we budgeted for 15% because we know a lot of communities are getting high renewals. It came in less than that. And actually, we feel, Carol did and Mike, that we enriched the coverage in most areas. But there was a couple options there, and I think that was something council was going to think about over the next week or so. So I don't know where everybody's at with that. Do you want to talk about that? Or Jennifer, did you want to add or lead that discussion?
Sure, Mr. Mayor. We just received the information that those numbers have changed slightly. We were looking at first that we had 25 employees with coverage. We actually have 29. And so when the numbers were run to correct that, the plan with, the package with 3 plans was at 9% increase. It's now at 8.3. The package with 2 plans was at 5.7, and that went up to 5.8, I think. I can't tell if that's an 8 or a 9. So the difference between the 2 plans is $12,756. It does affect more employees than we thought. We thought that we only had 1 employee in Plan 2 and 1 in Plan 3, and there's actually 8 employees between those 2 plans. So do we want to put it on first reading, or do we want to wait?
And I just want to make a quick caveat to everybody. Until, you know, we do have to pass that before we're, but even once you have open enrollment, it could change too. Okay? Because open enrollment is just that. It's open enrollment. They might come in and talk to Carol and Mike and say, or Mike and say, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to go with this plan because it's a little better or whatever after they hear about that. So.
Or pick up insurance if they
Or,
don't have
they,
it.
they might pick it up, they might pick up more, we might end up with less, we might end up with more. But just to tell you that could change. So whatever council decides to do, it's up to you guys.
So Mayor,
I know we talked about it quite a bit. Go ahead.
can I ask Councilwoman Allen, you said we have how many employees in each plan?
There are 21 in Plan 1, 6 in Plan 2, and 2 in Plan 3.
Okay. So if I were in Plan 3, which is the HSA, and I wanted to stay in the HSA, that option is available to me for the same, it looks to me, the same exact coverage, deductible, all that stuff. If I'm in Plan 2, right now I've got a $6,500 out-of-pocket limit for the individual, and for family $13,000. I would go into Plan 1 if we decided to do the two options. at, instead of 6,000, I'm sorry, 6,513,000, 4,000, and 8,000. So no matter what group I'm in, I'm either staying the same with the HSA if I wanted to stay with the HSA, or I'm getting a better benefit with Plan 1. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see any reason in my,
Well, the three plans, the three package plan,
yeah,
Plan 1, is still also better. If that's essentially eliminated, the current Plan 1 is still better, going to the two package plan of Plan 1.
the current Plan 1 has an out-of-pocket of 6,000
Right,
and a family out-of-pocket of 12,000.
Right,
We
so
would be
if we-
going to 4,000 and 8,000.
right, so if we go with just the two plans, that new Plan 1 is still better.
How can it be better? I'm
Just
sorry, the
said.
new Plan 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I-
You just said that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, you're exactly right. So the way I look at it is, for my own purposes here, if I was an employee, I'm still doing better. If I'm in the Plan 1 or the HSA, I'm doing the same. Everything's the same, right? So we're not detrimenting any employee,
Mhm.
correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So I don't mind, I would just like Nicole, if she would, to explain, and Ms. Allen, you explained, we thought we had, well, they ran it at 25 employees, and we have 29. So that's the difference between what we first saw and
Right.
now.
Right.
I'd like to ask Nicole, the 543,757, what did we budget for our 2025 original budget for this?
So the,
Stop for 1 second. Did you receive your spreadsheet
I-
from Nikki? It's she made
it was an
copies?
email,
Yeah.
yeah.
From,
Want to make
Oh, I
copies?
don't know, is this
No, she just
Today?
handed that out tonight.
Yeah, this
that
one
was
I
just-
just got.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was the one I
sitting on your
asked you.
desk?
Do you have it?
spreadsheet?
No, do you
No,
have it?
this-
Because I'll get you a copy.
No,
An
I have
email.
this.
No,
Oh, the
no, this.
email?
It was sitting there when you came in from,
I probably have it.
We'll help you. Well,
That-
Nikki can go through, but we'll have it.
Go ahead. Oh,
Here,
okay.
Take mine.
All right, and then
Okay,
I'll look
go
at
ahead.
mine.
That was my only reason about just discussing it again, because some things changed a little bit. It
Yeah,
is
no, I
still a
didn't
better
have this.
plan,
Okay,
but we just found this out tonight, so.
okay.
so Ray
I don't care if you
We
discuss it
didn't-
for another month,
asked me to get the budget
Yeah.
numbers
and they don't have insurance.
this afternoon. The medical insurance budget total was 610,500, and the renewal cost of the insurance is 543,757. But also included in that budget is the vision and dental. So that total package with the vision, dental, and medical was 575,757. That left a balance in our budget of $34,743. However, we are having a new employee come on as of April 1st, so
The police,
it's
the
going to
police
balance
employee.
itself out at that point.
Okay, so we don't have to appropriate any more for, than what we already appropriated for the 2025 budget. Yeah, I didn't,
Not
I
at
don't
this
have
time,
this.
no.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I'll get a copy of that.
Mayor Colgrave?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a follow-up question. I was kind of surprised to see the significant change in the plan, the option one under the new plan. You know, after we had a lengthy discussion last week
Mhm.
with Carol, and then, you know, to hear that there was, somehow there was 4 employees not in the calculation. Did we have, I mean, on the,
I'll let you answer
on the summary that was presented to us last week, it was based on the current coverage was based on 25. Is that accurate? Or did we actually have 29 currently under the plan?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
the email from Carol said that they normally go with the renewal enrollment on the spreadsheets, which most likely was what they did last year, the renewal enrollment. And she said that that's what the renewal was based on, so there's always a difference until we finalize everything in open enrollment. So when we had seen that it looked like we had more employees on our insurance, there may have been changes since the last enrollment that they didn't have on their spreadsheet.
Okay. Well, okay, that's, I mean, that clears it up to some degree, but I do know, I mean, I see in the package that was presented from Oswald, there was, like a month or so of steps, going through to try to iron out, what the needs were for the village. So I'm just surprised that, tonight, there's more than a $50,000 increase, although it's still under budget, but there's a $50,000 increase, because we told them last week, no need to come back. We had a thorough conversation, but, so that's just a significant increase in 4 employees that were not in the package. Just a little, I'm okay with option 1. I have no discussion about that. I'm just surprised that we are getting this kind of information on tonight.
Well, it could change again. You realize that, right? They haven't done open enrollment. It will be coming. So that number could change. It could go up. You might have to reappropriate, or it can go down.
So the 29, is the 29 employees that are actually currently under insurance, or a projection?
Those are the current numbers.
Okay, so all I'm saying, if it's 29 today, it certainly was 29 last Tuesday. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Not,
Right.
just surprised that we had that much of a
Disparity.
yeah, and again, as we said, we had great discussion. Said, no need to come back. No, we
Mr.
clear.
Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing, I can't answer for them, but I do know that in the email, she said she used her open enrollment, which was probably from our last open enrollment spreadsheet, so maybe we've added people in dispatch since that time, so maybe there was that lack.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yeah, go ahead, Jennifer.
we had one employee that had to be offered the health insurance and took it mid-year because of the hours, deemed it necessary. So there was one additional there.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of that employee, is there a chance that employee would fall off because their hours are lessened? Not that it matters, but I'm just curious if that number would decrease by 1 for this year, or next year.
Well, we have one. What employee are you talking about?
I don't know.
Oh.
It was my understanding we had to offer insurance to the rec director because she was
Okay.
over hours.
She's not on our insurance this year. She's on her
Oh, okay.
husband's insurance, correct?
One other question, Mayor.
Yes.
In reading this ordinance, it has a dollar amount, the $543,000, but it doesn't have in here what plan package we're choosing. And I don't know if that is significant or not.
Let's see.
As far as, to make everything, my idea of this would be to make everything ironclad, for lack of a better term, of exactly which one we are picking for the employees. So everybody knows they've got the choice of 2 packages right now, as opposed to this Anthem, the revised renewal. See what I mean? And I don't know what anybody else thinks about that.
Well, that's fine with that, okay, if you want to tweak that or have John talk about it. But let me just tell you how it works, probably just like anybody else who has worked before. You have open enrollment, okay? The employee has an option to educate themselves and say it's open enrollment. They'll have these options that you pick in front of them, and just like anywhere you work, you look and say, okay, which option should I take? You might even say, hey, I'll talk to my spouse, or did our kids fall off? Which option? That's the responsibility of the employee.
Right.
We give them that option. Oswald comes in, talks to them, explains that if they need explanation. They see these two, so they'll be aware of their options, and then they pick and choose which option fits them best.
So we
But as
passed
far
that.
as John, you could ask to answer that question, does that have to be in here? That's up to you
I don't know
guys.
if it has to be in there, it just, I don't know, it was just, you know.
I mean, I don't expect the employees to go to the legislation.
No, it's
That's my
not for
point.
the employees,
We should
it's for
offer.
us to say, this is the package we are offering
Okay,
legislatively.
that's
It's not
that's
for the
question.
employees, yeah.
Yeah.
And and I don't believe it was there before. As a matter of fact, I would say it wasn't there before in any of our other legislations. I just, as I read this, thought, well,
Yeah, whatever you want.
it's totally up, I mean, I'm only one person. You know, and if everybody said, nah, that's okay, then that's fine. You know,
Whatever you
just
guys
as
want.
long as there's no confusion between us and Oswald as what we are doing. And I'm sure there won't be.
Little clarification, we're not hurt at all. So I didn't know which one you wanted to go with, but we can say, I guess we would describe it as the option one anthem proposal.
Well, first of all, before you go that farther,
Make sure you're okay.
are you looking at passing it tonight? Or are you planning on having another meeting and do, because then you'll have time to do it, but if not, you could look at it now and make a decision. But why try to make a decision if you're not interested in, or you're interested in put it on first readings? It's up to you. Because otherwise, if you are interested in, yeah, would make it so council's happy with what it says, comfortable with what it says.
Mr.
But
Mayor?
if in your head you're not
Yeah.
gonna pass it, then maybe wait and have you tweak it. That's up to you guys.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I still feel, for everyone's benefit, that this option one is a fabulous plan. I mean, it's better benefits than what they currently have. You're still giving them two options whichever one they would prefer. So I would still say that with option one, I would be willing to approve it tonight.
I would be willing to approve that tonight, too.
Now, John put some words together, but is he I guess my question is, and that's why I think, is he putting the wording in for option, the two options, the three options? That's the question.
Well, the way they have it titled, Mr. Mayor, is option one anthem. The other one with three is revised renewal plan.
Okay, then that's what you'd want in the legislation, correct?
Yeah, I would say the proposed anthem option one.
Yes.
Okay.
I can say Plan 1 PPO and Plan 2 HSA.
Okay.
Just to be real clear, you can make a motion to amend it in,
Why don't we do this, John? You go in my office, work on it a few minutes, and then we can go through the rest of the agenda. How's that? Can that work for everyone? Yeah. That way you can kind of give you a few minutes to
Is Fred okay with
put it
that?
together correctly and
Yes.
I was concerned.
go from there.
Well, what do you want?
Here you go, John, here. You
You
want,
got this? Here, take mine. There you go.
this way.
Oh.
there you go. Okay. All right, let's move on to the, everybody okay with waiting for John? Then we can go back to discussion on that. Once he writes the legislation, you can take a look at that.
I mean, it's still an
Okay.
increase. Nobody knew it.
You have item B.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, we already did.
When we have that, I would be willing to introduce the health insurance for suspension,
Okay.
because I believe it's April 1st, right, is open enrollment?
That's what they would like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Our policy expires May 1st. So we're
But they
talking,
would need like a month before they can actually write, I mean, so that's why it was more important, right, to get all of the open
We get 2
enrollments in.
weeks.
Yeah.
So, you know, so we get 2 weeks. That's our open enrollment. So, not that, you know, I'm playing, you know, but a month is.
No, they get 7 days. They get 7 days. Open enrollment.
Wow.
well, they want to educate them.
Yeah, so it's
They want
only
to
7
educate
days.
the employees.
Yeah,
April
that's
1
fine.
through April 8 says open enrollment ends on April 8th. In order for the
If
next,
if we start that calendar, if it were to pass today.
yeah,
If it didn't pass today, then we would change that.
Mr.
Right.
Mayor,
The time frame would be the same though, right?
But we
Correct.
also
Not
have,
the dates, but the time frame.
we have also employees that work 20, well, not 24 hours consecutively, but are on the clock from 7 PM until
Sure.
7 AM and, you know,
Mr. Mayor.
so to coordinate.
Yeah, go ahead,
The-
Councilman
the-
Nielsen.
The way that I understood it, the way they explained it was to their benefit, to the insurance company's benefit, to have it by April 1st, so they could proceed with letting people know and working with them. But it wasn't set in stone.
No, you could have another meeting next week, you could have a meeting the following week. Yeah, we definitely got to get it done before May 1st. I also want something to people that are watching. We have, the employees pay 15% of their premium to the village for their health care. How long, did we see when last time it was increased?
I'm not aware.
Yeah, so part of Oswald and council and the administration, having them look at different plans is also to keep it affordable for the employees and not pass on any more than what they're paying now. At one time it was 10%, and we had to increase it to 15. It's not uncommon and we don't want to do that, and this council's done a great job in the administration to keep it at that 15%. But it isn't uncommon for businesses or municipalities when rates increase from the carrier, because it costs us almost $600,000 a year to insure our employees, which is a benefit, and our employees deserve that. They deserve good health care, and we want to offer that. Is you're looking at council and administration to keep it affordable, not increase the amount we put on them. So I think that needs to be noted. I think we've done a good job with that. We could always say, hey, give us the best plan, but then, you know, that rate goes up and you'd have to pass it on to the employees. So you're trying to give the best coverage for an employee or their family or their dependents at a good rate to stay competitive too and stuff. So I think that can't be overlooked, that we're not increasing the premium on the employees. Because many of us know, most of us know, that that's one thing that increases in everybody's benefits almost yearly or every other year is what you pay for health care. It's just, and I'm glad we didn't have to do that. I think you guys all feel the same way. Do we want to move on to the life insurance? I think that was just, that was a pretty much was the same, wasn't it, Nikki?
Yes.
Did you just, there was, we have it on there, go ahead, there was no increase.
Mr. Mayor, there was no increase, it was just a flat renewal.
So is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Who would like to introduce that for suspension?
Mr. Mayor, I can introduce that as well.
Okay. We'll give Mr. Montello a few more minutes before we make him speed it up a little bit.
Hey, Colgrove.
Yes.
Yeah, I just have one question regarding the life insurance policy. You know, in section 1, it states that it is a 2-year policy, so does the $9,648 cover both years, or is that per year? It says it's effective, I'm sorry,
It's
May
a
1st,
fiscal year.
2025 through April 30, I read it wrong, never mind. Thought it was a 2-year policy. So Mayor, since we got some time, I do have a couple questions on the health insurance on the booklet that we got last week and the renewal timeline, just for clarification, if you could.
And I just gave mine to Mr. Montello,
Okay.
so I don't have mine in front of me, but unless I do have another
You
one.
want to borrow mine?
So my question
I
is
have another one.
kind of general, and, you know, it says renewal timeline, strategy, open enrollment, and, you know, I know.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 10,
Okay.
page 10.
Can you, let me see if let me get to it so I can follow you better. Does anybody need a booklet? Or Brian, you said you had an extra one, or?
I just have one.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm there, if anybody
Okay.
else is there.
So general question is on the strategy where it says deadline 1/23/25, pre-renewal strategy discussion, responsible party Oswald. Is that a sit-down discussion with Village? Is that, or is that all Oz? Is that a discussion with administration?
Mr. Mayor,
So,
They-
I'll answer. First of all, in our last meeting, when Carol and Mike were here, I said, you know, mentioned that we had a meeting. Nikki and Melissa were part of it, and I joined by phone.
Is that what that was back in January, or is it close sometime?
No, we didn't, we missed that, I have to find, my pen is not,
it's the second to last.
I'll let you answer. Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead.
we did have a meeting with Carol, just Melissa and I, and as the mayor said, he came in by phone, and it was basically the same presentation that they gave you. They just sort of met with us to explain it prior to coming into the village.
All right, so that's more like I don't know, the 3-3 renewal plan options in quotes finalized, and 3-6 renewal meeting, that's probably where you guys are. The renewal meeting, that was with you all to explain what was going on. But the earlier piece, the pre-renewal strategies, that's just an Oswald piece. That's not necessarily a sit-down with the village to kind of get a sense of, you know, what the village might be looking for or anything like that. It's not that kind of, the January date, it's not that kind of meeting.
No, we didn't meet with them in January.
Thank you. And then the form fire open for employees, what, you know what that's all about? Anybody know what that's all about?
The form fire, I don't think they fill that out for us. We don't do anything with that. That's something that they do on the back end.
That is what they discussed with you the other day, last week, which has to do with our kind of almost like a risk assessment, when they mentioned, well, we had this employee had this employee had this, so they had an idea of where we would fall with our employees. Yeah, they do that themselves.
Okay. Thank you.
Because they need to answer those are some of the things they answer when they ask for the renewal. And then, as you know, they got the renewal, came back at, what was it, 18%? I think she mentioned. And then they went back to them to renegotiate and ask for a rate decrease. Okay, Mr. Montello. We're waiting for you and your new resolution. Not new, but an amendment to it.
I was just gonna stick it after, in section 1, for all eligible.
Here, John, why don't you talk into the mic and let everybody hear so they can understand what,
In section 1, I was going to just, at the end of,
tell us where exactly, so.
the mayor and the fiscal officer of the village of Walton Hills are hereby authorized and directed to enter into the agreement with Anthem to provide basic health care and prescriptive drug insurance coverage for all village employees with the 2-plan option presented by Oswald, with 1 plan PPO and 1 plan, Plan 2 HSA. Period.
And then declare an emergency?
Effective May 1st through April 30th.
Oh, you're up there, okay, I
Yeah.
see it down here, okay, I see what you're saying.
Section 1, just stick it in.
Section 1, I missed that, okay.
It's right there.
Can you send that over
Yeah.
to me, John?
Yeah, Jennifer's.
Just after the word "the village employees," with the 2-plan option presented by Oswald with one plan PPO and Plan 2 HSA.
You got that written for Jennifer's gonna make amendment.
Okay.
So the amendment first?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read his writing?
Scribble,
skills?
scrabble.
I struggle with it sometimes.
My dad's a lefty, I can read
There you
handwriting.
go. All right. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Is everybody comfortable then? Everybody okay with everything?
Yes.
John, while you were out, we just touched base on the life insurance. As you know, 'cause we did, it's just a renewal, there is no increase. No decrease either, which would have been nicer, but there's no decrease, but no increase, so it's a straight renewal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Then we'll go back up to the legislation. We have, any questions from anybody in the audience? Any residents? Anybody, any residents watching or non-residents watching the live stream?
No.
Okay. All right. We have, under item 9, the legislation, resolution 2025-7, casualty insurance. Who would like to, well, we have somebody that already said they would introduce
Yes.
that, Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes, sir. Number 9, the casualty insurance, that's, I'd have to get my act together, 25-7.
It's all right, we've got time.
Mr. Mayor, you said resolution number 2025-7. I have 2024-7.
I was just looking at that, yep. That's-
Mr. Mayor, I did change that on the final print. I never sent it.
Okay.
So-
that's 25. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to introduce for suspension, Resolution 2025-7, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the clerk of the Village of Walton Hills to enter into an agreement with Travelers through the Love Insurance Agency for a municipal package insurance program effective March 31st, 2025 through March 31, 2026, and declaring an emergency.
Second?
There's a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Whedon. Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, suspension approved, 5-0. Mr. Spitznagel?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of Resolution 2025-7.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Whedon. Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay. Adoption passed, 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we have item B.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
Mr.
Councilwoman
Montella,
Allen.
do I need to make the amendment first, or do I make the suspension first?
I would make the amendment first.
Okay, I'd like to make an amendment to resolution number 2025-8 to include in section 1, after the third line down, for all eligible village employees, to include with the 2-plan option presented by Oswald, with a 1-plan PPO and Plan 2 HSA to be included.
Second.
Second, vote on the amendment.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Does there have to be other suspension amendment?
Well, now it's amended, so now it'll be under suspension.
Gotcha, okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for suspension of resolution number 2025-8, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the fiscal officer of the Village of Walton Hills to enter into a contract with Anthem to renew insurance coverage for all eligible village employees and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second. Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of resolution number 2025-8
With
Second.
the amendment.
with the
correct?
amendment.
With the amendment. Second.
Second by Councilman Nielsen. Vote on the adoption with the amendment.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. 5-0, thank you. Okay, item C, resolution 2025-9.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for suspension for resolution number 2025-9, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the fiscal officer of the Village of Walton Hills to enter into a contract with the Standard for basic life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance for all eligible village employees and declaring an emergency.
Is there a
Second.
second by Councilman Nielsen? We'll vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, suspension passed, 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adoption of resolution number 2025-9.
Second.
Second by Councilman Nielsen. Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Resolution 2025-9 passed, 5-0. Okay, any old or new business?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I did have a couple of employees that had asked me about, and I know that Ryan is going to be at the Village Hall today, or not today, I'm sorry, on Thursday, from 2 to 4, I believe. But some of the employees either work after that or work before that, and we're asking if it would be possible that HR could be available at different times than just that late afternoon.
Yeah, we can ask Ryan that. They have actually Ryan is available anytime.
Okay.
They can call him anytime. He's given his cards to employees, the numbers are posted. He sends an email out, as you've seen, with his contact number on it. So have those employees contact him, and he'll
Okay.
do what works best to accommodate him.
Great, thank you.
Any other old or new business? Okay. Before I ask for ask for a motion for executive session, and council, you tell me if this is right. I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session. If council approves, we're going to go into executive session. When we're done with the executive session, we're going to reconvene. There won't be any business that takes place. We will just adjourn the meeting at that time. That's our plan
Okay.
moving forward. So we'll go and things. So at this time, before we go into executive session, any questions from anybody? Okay,
Mr. Mayor,
go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters concerning a service department retirement, to discuss economic development concerning 7845 Northfield Road, Droff, WH1, and 794-34-031, and to discuss pending or imminent court action, all pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22, Sub G.
Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Councilwoman Canzoni. Vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to go into executive session at 7:48 PM. When we do come out and reconvene, we will reconvene the meeting and then ask for adjournment. Okay, you're more than welcome to stay here if you want. Otherwise, have a good week, nice weekend. Okay, we can, we'll just turn that off, right? We don't,
Stop streaming?
yeah, I would say.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, stop streaming. Councilman Nielsen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni.
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon.
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Okay, meeting reconvened at 9:05 PM. Can I ask for a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment of our council meeting for March 18th, 2025.
Is there a second? Second by Councilman Nielsen. Vote on the motion. Councilwoman Allen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni.
Yes.
Councilman Nielsen.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon.
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 9:05 PM. Thank you, everybody.